Yo, 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 whoa, 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 whoa. Dr. J and the Hizoos. Woo! What up, everybody? So, this is the new adventure. Some shit went down here in Victoria, BC, and I had to move. And I had a very limited time to find a place to go. And so there's a affordable housing shortage crisis. I know it's a mouthful. There's a housing crisis for people who aren't millionaires to live here. There's thousands of $1 million condos that you can buy, and they're empty. They're just sitting there. They're building these skyscrapers everywhere in town, and they're empty. No one can afford to live there. They're trying to attract millionaires. They're trying to squeeze out the middle class and the poor people, and they're trying to just put all millionaires everywhere. They want all just rich people living here. But who the fuck's gonna make rich people their coffee at Starbucks? Who's gonna mow lawns? Who's gonna do all the shit that keeps everything running? So those people have nowhere to live. Lower middle class and low income people, anything middle class and under is there's nowhere to live around here anymore. So yeah, since I had to leave and I had very limited time to find a place, I was like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do? So I borrowed some money and I bought a van. That's right. I'm sitting in a van. I am a van man. I'm doing the hashtag van life, at least for the summer, and we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't really get cold here. It doesn't go really below zero. I think it went to -5 last winter. It wasn't really that cold. And when you do keto, man, you really don't feel the cold when you on that keto, son. So this is the van anyways. And I've already ripped out all the back seats, and I ripped out all the flooring, all the carpet and shit like that. And I put my yoga mat on the floor. I have a shoulder problem, so I haven't slept in a bed in 5 or 6 years now. I always sleep on a hard floor, so this is perfect for my back. Perfect, without a T. And what's the T, baby? What's the T? Not perfect. And yeah, so this is what I'm doing. I'm living in a van. I escaped rent. I live rent-free. All I got to do is pay the insurance and then pay a payment for the person who I borrowed this from. And yeah, that's it, man. Some gas. And it's all profit, yo. It's all profit. That means I'm just saving up. And so I bought this van. It was coming down to crunch time. It was the end of the month. It was 3 days before Canada Day, maybe 2 days. And Canada Day was the day I gotta go. So I ended up buying this thing very, very, very last minute. I had lined up something else, and this lady kind of screwed me over. She was leading me on, waiting for another guy to come back about a really nice van. That one was $1,400, and I was willing to pay that for it. And then she was just kind of stringing me along, waiting for some other guy to come back who was gonna pay $1,800, but she didn't tell me that. So I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And then another buddy messaged me for this one. I guess I had been messaging a bunch of people about vans. So got this one. And I don't know anything about vans, man. I don't know anything about cars. I'm not the car guy in the family. My brother's the car guy. And anyways, out in BC, my family is on the other side of the whole goddamn country. So there's a 4-hour difference. It's really hard to get a hold of people in a split second, when I'm I need information, I need it right now. Should I buy this thing? Should I not buy this thing? And I can't get a hold of anybody. So, also I don't have a phone, so I rely on Wi-Fi for my phone. I don't have a real phone account. I just use Wi-Fi and text apps and shit like that. I am frugal as fuck, motherfuckers. I am frugal, yo. I'm trying to save out here. We out here trying to function. Anyways, so I buy this van, and then I was just you know what? I'm going to take it into a shop, because British Columbia, like the rest of Canada, doesn't do yearly government inspections. Usually you take your ride in, they inspect it, and they tell you a bunch of shit is wrong, and you got to fix it. If you don't fix it, they don't put the sticker on. If they don't put the sticker on your window, in the rest of Canada, you ain't allowed to drive that fucking car anywhere. That's it, man. The shop says no, you can't drive it. If you get pulled over by the cops, you're getting a huge fine, and they might even tow your car and put it in the impound. So I was like, since they don't do inspections here, you can still get an inspection done at a place. So I went to one of these high-end places, and I said, give me the full inspection. There's a government inspection. You can still do that one. It's $89, and that's in case someone bought a car from another province, they bring it in here, well, then they require you to do a government inspection because it's out of province. So I went and did the full inspection. It's like $150, and they like comb over every little detail, and they printed out a page of the shit that's wrong. 3 pages came out of shit that's wrong with this fucking thing. Man, I was pissed. I was like, fucking guy sold me a lemon. My heart sunk down into my stomach. My balls went back up inside. Ugh, I felt nauseous. I felt like I was going to throw up. And then the guy, he starts explaining all the shit wrong. I'm like, all right. So I pull out my calendar. I'm like, let's start scheduling some repairs then. And he goes, look, man, he goes, the cheapest repair we can do is going to be $3,000. And I'm like, fuck, I don't have $3,000, man. I borrowed the $1,500 for this thing to begin with. So I'm like devastated. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just like, fuck. And he literally takes the worksheets, the papers that are showing everything that's wrong, and he shoves them aside and goes, now look, son, don't put another dollar into this thing. I'm like, okay. The mechanic whose job it is to rip you off is telling me not to do it. And I'm like, wow, this thing must be like really fucking bad. And he tells me I got about a month left of driving before the brakes are going to eat up the discs and that my wheels are going to fall off by the end of the month. I'm just like, holy fuck. Now what am I going to do? I'm living in this thing. Like, this is my home. I have a cleaning company here, and I need this thing to get to all the new clients that I've been accepting because I now have a vehicle. Now I can get to all these extra clients and shit. So, man, I say so a lot, and I'm sorry, everybody. So I didn't know what to do. I'm like, shit. And I'm just kind of like driving around depressed for like 3 days. And then one of my clients, I was telling her the story. She's like, well, my boyfriend's like pretty good with cars. Like, why don't you wait till he gets here? And so, like, we're just kind of sitting here waiting, and, like, 20 minutes goes by. He was, like, a little bit late. I'm like, I'll just talk to him online. She goes, no, I think it's a good idea if you just wait. Even just 20 more minutes. Like, it's probably better to talk to him, like, in person. He can just, like, kind of have a quick look at it. So the guy comes, has a look over everything. He's pointing out shit. He's showing me shit in the engine that I don't even know what it is. He's pointing at things. He's like, hey, if there's going to be... Because the inspection said there was an oil leak, but there's no oil leak. We looked everywhere for the oil leak. Nothing's leaking. And he showed me, like, where it's going to leak if there is one. And there wasn't one. I've been checking underneath this thing for days now. Nothing's leaking anywhere. And but, I mean, I paid for that thorough-ass inspection to kind of tell me everything that's wrong or looks wrong or whatever. So, I mean, I knew there was going to be a bunch of shit that didn't really have to be fixed. But when the guy told me, like, $3,000... just to fix the one first little thing that needs to be fixed before you get to all the other crazy shit that needs to be fixed. It's just like, man, I'm never going to be able to afford this. So this guy, he's looking over my car. He's like, look, he starts pointing out a few things. He's like, look, if you do this and this and this, just get these couple things, you can fix that for a couple $100. I was like, fuck, man. Thank you, dude. Like, you just like, you restored my faith in this beautiful vehicle that I just bought. So it's a 2005 Pontiac Montana SV6. It's got a V6 engine. It's got 3.5 liter, whatever the fuck that means. Told you I'm not a car guy. I'm just starting to learn the lingo. Talk the talk, but I can't walk the walk yet. And so I'm going to start... Well, we're going to go fix that shit on the weekend. We're going to fix these brakes up and some things that are wrong underneath. And then I'm going to go up island. I'm going to buy some new tires for it. And but after that, once it gets rolling again and I'm comfortable and confident that my tires aren't going to fall off, I'm going to start renovating again. And the plan is to, I mean, it looks junky right now. You can kind of see the metal in the back by those Crocs. So it's all just cold-ass metal floor. I'm going to fill everything in with this like vapor barrier, vapor seal that they put underneath the click lock floating floors. And then I'm going to put a thin layer of plywood, maybe some insulation layer down, a thin layer of plywood, like 1-ply plywood down everywhere in the back. And then the coolest thing is that all through this, there's these like hooks everywhere. So I don't know if you can see that with the light right now I'm pointing at. These hooks are built right in to the whole vehicle. if I could leave little holes open everywhere, it'd be cool to have access to these little hooks that I'll be able to hook things into when I start installing like shelving units and everything like that. So my idea is to put click lock floating floor down and have a nice clean ass floor to sit on and sleep on with my shoulder problem and everything. And then I'm gonna build like shelving units. I want them like all up. All this plastic shit is coming right out because there's so much space in behind that's not being used. It's all bubbly. You can't put anything on it because it's like rounded down. I mean, why do I need a cup holder back there? I don't need that shit. And it's the same thing on this side. There's little storage things in the back. All that shit can come out. I need the space. Then I'm going to install a shelving unit. And I figure that if I put a flat shelf and we're driving around, shit's going to fall off the shelf. So if I build my shelves to have like an angle in, all the shit can stay on my shelves and it all just kind of stay. And when I drive around like a crazy maniac that I am, the shit won't fall off the shelves. There will be bungee cords everywhere. There will be ropes and shit like that. The ceiling, shag carpet, yo. Shag carpet. I'm buying that funky ass faux fur from Walmart and I'm going to fill the whole ceiling. Just glue it all over this. Woo, yeah, dude. So shag carpet on the ceiling. I'm going to get a string of those LED lights, line the whole interior with the LED lights for at nighttime. And I'm going to put in solar panel up on the roof with an extra battery down here under the passenger seat so I can run all my shit without worrying about the car battery. Because like right now, yeah, I know I can plug my phone in, but I can't like run my big speakers and run all the extra shit that I want to run in here. And yeah, so man, what's today? What's the date of today? The 12th or something? I've been in here for 12 days, 11 or 12 days. And this is it, man. I love it. I love it so much. I mean, when I heard that the car was garbage, I totally regretted ever doing this. But I totally regretted buying this vehicle is what I regretted. I don't regret trying to live in a van. This is awesome. It's so cool. It's so freeing. I have no fucking landlords anymore telling me what the fuck to do. No more fucking kids upstairs stomping above my fucking head at 7 in the goddamn morning. Bang, 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 jumping over my head. And it's like, they gave us cheaper rent because they knew their fucking kids were loud. So rather than discipline the kids, to be able to have respect for other people, they'd rather just like made our shit cheaper. So that was kind of annoying. And the fact that we couldn't smoke weed anywhere on the property at all, and like whenever weed smell would just drift in from somewhere else, we got the fucking blame for it. Get text messages all the time. You guys smoking weed down there? What are you guys doing? It's like, no, man, we're fucking not. We did that once, gotten shit for it, never did it again. So, just shit like that, man. I know weed's not a big deal. You can always walk to the park or whatever, but just being able to like have a little puff off a pipe right before bed, just kind of like pass out. Like, that's what I want, That's what I want in life. Freedom to do J shit, what I want to do. So I get out in the morning. I've been parking here at this place. I'll do a better video tomorrow, but there's like this beautiful beach. This is like the Pacific Ocean right here. And then across from that, you can't see it in this phone right now, but there's mountains up there. And the mountains, that's Washington State, yo. That's Washington. We're so close to the States. Yeah, I love this. I just wish that I would have done van life earlier in my life. Like that's another regret. I regret not doing this sooner because like this is so cool. I mean, you get to park in these parks. There's public washrooms right over here. You can go use the washroom. And we got full free Wi-Fi right here. There's a girl doing yoga here. I'm going to be doing some yoga here in this park myself. There was a man doing Tai Chi on the beach the other morning. The fog was rolling in the bay. It's so cool. It's so beautiful. It's all rainforesty and shit here. I love it, man. I love this city. Love this town. It's pretty cool. Making lots of money out here. Got lots of clients. Got lots of life. There's lots to do. Lots to explore. The island's big. One thing I did, I left already in my van. Went out on a little adventure. I had to buy a window. This thing had a broken window. So I had to go to another town up island to a wrecker. A wrecker is a scrapyard for everyone who doesn't know. They call them wreckers here in BC. And bought my window, hung out with my friend Viv. She's another yoga instructor. And we just kind of toured around up there. She showed me like her part of the island. And we went to a rock quarry, went swimming in a flooded rock quarry. That was really cool. And it had like crystal clear blue water, that tropical looking shit like you get at resorts and everything. When you go down south, that's what the water was like. It was so warm too. It was amazing. And we went paddle boarding. We did yoga on the dock. We did chair yoga with old people at the center. Like, oh, so cool, man. And I like small towns. I really like small towns. And the small town of Duncan is a beautiful small town. It reminds me a lot of small towns that I grew up in on the East Coast in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. So I might even like, I don't know, I've even considered like going to Duncan to like live. And before I ever came to Victoria, when you do research online, what's the warmest place to live in all of Canada? They're going to say Duncan. It only goes to like 10 degrees. Like that's the coldest it gets is like 10 degrees, like plus 10. They're a little bit further up. They're a little bit further north, but the way that the water gets trapped between the island and Vancouver, the heat just kind of stays in that area a little more than here because we're right out on the ocean. So all our heat just gets whisked away. Anywho, shit, it's been 16 minutes. I'm just blabbing on here. I just want to do a little update for all my fans and my friends and my families, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is what's up. I'll keep making some updates to this thing as shit progresses so everybody can like check out the journey, you know? Check out what it's like living in a van, trials and tribulations. Food has been all right. I mean, I already eat vegan, so plant-based. It's easy to just go and buy some fresh vegetables. Now I'm just eating them raw instead of cooking that shit, which is way better for you anyways. And yeah, so washrooms, oceans, parks, yoga, sleeping. We out here. We out here. Peace. Ding.